I remembered to start the recording before we got 30, 40 minutes into the meeting today.
Good job. I was even gonna remind you. Nice work.
And we also have the live auto transcription on for anyone who does wish to have the captions. So yeah,
Thanks, Duke.
I'll give it a few more minutes and see if we can get over, 30 people here. Let me see. Do we have all of our guest speakers here tonight? Not yet. Not all of them. Okay. All right. We have at least a couple guest speakers. And do we have our I guess guest of honor, or at least the main subject of tonight's meeting? I will give it a couple more minutes and then we'll be right underway, with or without Kim. All right. So it is 6:03 and I am going to hereby call this meeting to order. Crap, I did something. There we go. All right. Share screen. All righty. So this is our Student Government Association meeting for the Senate body on the 8th of November, 2021. This is our second to last official scheduled meeting for the semester. Reminder that not next week, but in 3 weeks, we will have our vote to determine whether or not we will be meeting on Zoom next semester or if we will be meeting in person. And as always, let's kick this off with roll call. Malavika,
Arts and Sciences Student Council,
Lawrence Brooks IV College of Arts and Sciences Student Council present.
Block School Student Association,
Block School Student Association, Kerrigan Rohach present.
Collegiate Pan-Hellenic Council,
Collegiate Panhellenic Council present, Haley Pranz.
Conservatory Student Association,
Brett Boyer, CSA, present.
Gabrielle Stanley, Conservatory Student Association, present.
Graduate Student Council, Graduate Student Council,
Matthew Lukovich, Graduate Student Council, present.
Interfraternity Council,
IFC, Jake O'Brien, present.
Medical School Advisory Council,
Medical School Advisory Council, Stephanie Kim, present.
Medical School Advisory Council, Eric Rampali, present.
Multicultural Student Organization Council, National Pan-Hellenic Council,
NPHC Council, Charisma Silo, present.
Pharmacy Student Council,
Pharmacy Student Council, Amy Janowski, present.
Pharmacy Student Council, Zach Painter, present.
School of Biological and Chemical Sciences Student Council,
School of Biological and Chemical Sciences, Grayson Petrozinski, present.
School of Biological and Chemical Sciences, Christian Dang, present.
School of Computing and Engineering Student Council,
School of Computing and Engineering Student Council, Reagan Dunn, present.
School of Computing and Engineering Student Council, Jim Dells, present.
School of Dentistry Student Council,
School of Dentistry Student Council, Alexandria Thomas, present.
School of Education Council,
School of Education Student Council, Nicole Davidge, present.
School of Education Student Council, Jessica Metter, present.
School of Law,
School of Law, Ryan Head, present.
School of Law, McGregor Greenlee, present.
Sexuality and Gender Alliance Council,
Sexuality and Gender Alliance Council, Tatiana Taylor, present.
Student Athlete Advisory Council,
Student Athlete Advisory Council, present. Thomas Luger.
Student Council of Nursing and Health Sciences,
Nursing and Health Studies, Joey Gamble, present.
Student Council of Nursing and Health Studies, Jacob Sumner, present.
Senators at Large,
Quinn Tran, Senator at Large, present.
Natalie
Duke.
McCarthy, Senator at Large, present.
Duke Porter, Senator at Large, present.
okay. I believe we're at quorum.
Yes, we are. Thank you, Malavika. All right. Approval of the minutes of last meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
I motion to approve the minutes.
And I believe that means the minutes have, or I think we need a second to,
A second.
thank you. Just covering our bases. All right, so tonight, if you were looking at the agenda that I sent out, we do have a couple of guest speakers, and tonight, our first guest speaker on the agenda is Shane Reed with his climate resilience plan from one of his one of those like the, I don't know what those classes are called. I'm a transfer student, so I never had to take those, like
Okay.
anchor discourse kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's labeled an independent studies course.
Okay. So yes, let me just stop sharing and get you the ability to share. All right, you should have the ability to share.
All right. Everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. So, oh, dang it. Sorry, I'm not used to sharing on Zoom.
It's all right.
Why is this the part that I mess up?
At the top of the bar, there's like a little T looking thing where you like the save button, and then there's the undo, the refresh, and then
Oh,
an icon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so to start off, why do we need a climate resilience plan, or should I start off introducing myself?
Please, Shane, introduce yourself.
So, hi, my name is Shane Reed. I am a junior here at UMKC with getting my bachelor's in environmental science. And hopefully I'll have that next fall. So, little introduction to who I am. So why do we need a climate resilience plan? What's the point? I'm sure those are questions going through your head right now. Well, for our generation, the number one pervasive issue that will affect us is easily climate change. And this will likely be an issue for most of our lifetimes here. It'll bring about multiple issues, such as exacerbated health disparities, threats to culture, and climate refugees. And issues such as affordable housing that isn't energy efficient will need to be addressed in the coming years in order to effectively combat the warming climate. Now, all of this is bad, but KC will actually be hit harder than other areas. We're actually ranked 5th in the US to be most impacted by climate change. This is largely because we live in a downtown area, and most highly urbanized areas creates urban heat islands where temperatures here are going to be warmer than the surrounding areas. This is mostly due to us trapping solar radiation in with more reflective surfaces. You can go read about that if you want. I won't go into detail here for time, but in KC, we will see increased heat extremes and heat threats to the most vulnerable populations here. We're expected to see an annual increase in average temperature by 4 degrees Fahrenheit by mid-century, which is roughly 2.3 degrees Celsius. And if you know anything about global climate science, once we reach 2 degrees Celsius, that's a kind of a point of no return. We'll see massive damage globally. It's a bit more complicated than that, but once again, for the sake of time. And then we'll also see increased flooding and unpredictable precipitation. This is causing issues in a ton of bodies of water. The lower Missouri River just got ranked the second, the second worst river to be most endangered due to flood management by the AmericanRivers.org. So help combat this, UMKC should be following the city's example. Climate Action KC is a board of city officials and experts working with the Mid-America Regional Council to draft a resilience plan for the city. So we should be helping educate students and empowering student resilience leadership. We should research how to address climate changes in our community, and our campus should be a living example for the future. Now, there we go. I want us to go into a little bit more on our upcoming climate challenges. Here is a graph of basically any days where the heat index is above 90 degrees, 100 degrees, and 5 degrees, or 105 degrees, sorry. This is what we see historically. And these two boxes are our current path without any mitigation, well, any more mitigation. But if we can limit our warming to 2 degrees Celsius, we'll see about a third of what we'll see by mid-century on our current course. And then over here is just a US temperature change in the US. And this is once again based off of the global average. So the red is getting closer to the 1.5 degrees Celsius above the global average, and then blue is negative 1.5 degrees below. So there's that. So once again, we'll see the average temperature increase by 4 degrees. We'll see higher temperatures in the urban core. We'll experience severe droughts with severe drought in areas that aren't directly next to bodies of water. We'll see rising utility costs as, like I mentioned earlier, houses will become, or sorry, affordable living still isn't energy efficient. So if that trend continues, we will try to keep ourselves cooler and cooler at a costly rate. And then we'll also see ecosystem stress and a loss of local wildlife. And then, like I said earlier, there will be flooding with unpredictable precipitation. That has to do with a lot of climate science. Then we'll also see a stress to our sewage and water purification infrastructure as well. So fun times. So I mentioned climate action KC earlier. Now let's talk about them a little bit and the climate goals of the city. So the plan hopes to reach a total net zero carbon emissions for the city by 2040, with municipal operations leading the way in 2030. They would also like to expand on Evergy's Renewables Direct program, and that is a program that will help industrial and commercial entities have access to renewable energy, either from being wired into, say, like a farm or a wind farm, or by helping fund big changes such as the addition of solar panels. They would also like to implement green infrastructure and expand upon the green infrastructure projects. And they would also like to expand on the streetcar system for obvious reasons, keep people out of their cars. But through these types of changes, they've brought down emissions by 30%. This is similar to pre-2005 levels. So they're already making headway. And we have too in the past. Now, this is the plan. It's a 4-part thing. And before I get into it, I want to point out 2 things. These are all the people that worked on it with me. You won't see my name up here because I worked on the barriers and solutions portion. And well, for the sake of time, I didn't want to bore you all with that. And one other thing, this is still a draft. I want to make sure that we can change it as needed and take suggestions on as needed. There was a faculty member that I was speaking to about this early on in the semester, and she wanted to see e-waste be a thing. And I'm surprised we actually didn't think of it when we were making this document in the first place. So stuff like that, suggestions from faculty and students, I want it there. So yeah, so I'll run down this list real quick of goals with you. So in community and engagements, there's 4 goals. First, we want to make sustainability a primary focus in leadership, planning, and guidance for students. And goal 2, we would like increase sustainable engagement with the UMKC and KC communities through either outreach programs that will help teach a multitude of things from composting at home to recycling at home, all the way to, hey, we can, we can have programs for high school students to go through as they're going through high school. But yeah, there's a multitude of ways there. And then for goal number 3, we would like to hire a sustainability coordinator for the university. This would just help keep everything organized and consistent along a multitude of different things. And then for number 4, we would like a more sustainable curriculum. Now this would include offering more classes that go over climate resilience and sustainability, but also offering a master's degree in sustainability as well. Because, you know, more education is always good. Now on to campus landscaping. For goal number 1, we have green infrastructure on campus. Much like the city wants to do, we would like to see green infrastructure be implemented here on campus. For number 2, we'd like to create and maintain a digital tree map, tree campus map. This not only would tell us the number of trees that are on campus and the species of those trees, which tracking tree species is very vital for conservation. We want to try to restore the native species that are here because they last the longest. They are used to our local climate the most. But if you look over at Rockhurst, they already have a similar tree map, and they're so far ahead, they have it marked, they have it mathematically figured out how much carbon they're sequestering on their campus through their trees. So I'd like it a bit of a similar thing over here. For number 3, once again, going back to the native species, we'd like to increase native species through planting urban gardens. And this will also tie into goal number 4. Through that, we can increase student involvement through native gardens. Someone's got to tend to them, right? Why not create groups, student organizations that can? So yeah, campus landscape is pretty straightforward. Onto energy. For goal 1, we'd like to manage the campus carbon footprint. And this would just be updating the current carbon footprint. I think it's been a little bit since we did that. And then implementing energy benchmarking, where we can evaluate our costs and compare them to other universities. And this also allows us to get new ideas from outside sources. For goal 2, we would like to see investments into a renewable-based energy campus. And this can once again be done through Evergy's Renewables Direct program. We can start shifting our energy portfolio to the wind farm grid, and then we can partner with non-governmental organizations to help with grant writing to help pay for larger energy changes. And then goal 3, that's a typo. We would like to invest in more energy efficient buildings and appliances. This ties into goal number 2. And basically this is just a promise to ensure that all future buildings and energy appliances are as efficient as possible, all the way from a light bulb being added to an HVAC system being added, heating, ventilation, air and cooling, for anyone that doesn't know HVAC, but yeah, there's so. Now onto food and waste management. For goal number 1, we would like to provide healthier food choices, and there's a lot of different ways we can do this. We can either appoint a food advisor to put forward new ideas and strategies to keep food healthy for students, as well as ensuring they're coming from the best sources possible, such as organically grown as opposed to regular mass farms. But if this position is unattainable, these duties could be given off to the proposed sustainability coordinator position, or passed off elsewhere. Just someone that is making sure the food is healthy and sourced sustainably. For goal number 2, we would like to promote local food options. This also goes back to the healthier food choices. Through this, we can partner with local farmers, such as Herbivore, URBAVORE, to increase organic food choices on campus, which will once again reduce things such as pesticide usage. So yeah, for goal 3, we would like to promote composting on campus. To achieve this one, we can either put compost sites around campus or partner with composting programs here in KC. If it were me, I'd go with the second option because I think it can be a bit stinky having a bunch of composting bins. And then finally, for goal number 4, we would like to reduce and enhance the waste management on campus. Through this, we evaluate our current recycling and then discuss possible improvements. We can also reduce the plastic that is available for purchase, so there's less of it to go around in general. We can also use compostable utensils in dining areas and implement hard to recycle item bins, such as the e-waste that I spoke to earlier, or as you get up in the numbers with plastic 5s and up become difficult to recycle. You have to go to different facilities for that. So if we can just make it more accessible to the students on campus to recycle easily, it will naturally increase the rate or the amount of recycle that is happening. Recycling that is happening. Sorry. So yeah, that is the big to do on the plan. So sorry. So how can the SGA help? Well, the SGA can help support the adoption of the UMKC resilience plan. They could include resilience as a university value and goal. We can also engage students across both campuses, the Volker campus and Hospital Hill, in discussion in discussion of solutions, anything from how to properly recycle at home to how do I fund, once again, solar panels. Sorry, I can't get away from that example. And then we can also engage the administration in developing resilience goals as well. A lot of people have really good ideas and we just got to listen to them. And then lastly, we can enact tasks and activity to move UMKC into resilience leadership. And yeah, that's my slide.
Thank you, Shane. I would typically open up for questions now, but I do want to get on to our other guest speakers. So if you would like to just sit and wait, or like come back in like half an hour or so for when we have our open forum, and then I can open the floor to questions for you then. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I'm cool to just wait around.
Sounds great. All right. Now, back to my screen for like 3 seconds. We have Drs. Smith and Martin from the Swinney Recreation Center and Athletics, who have a presentation that they would like to give. Who shall I give sharing permissions to?
Mr. Porter, you don't have to give either one of us sharing permissions. If you'll just go ahead and put, you can put the screen down and put the individual pictures back up.
All
We're gonna
right.
do something a little different. We're just gonna have a conversation.
All right.
Thank you. How are you?
I am fine. How are you?
Awesome. I'm good. So let us begin. I'm gonna always do this. I just want to know who's in the room. So thank you, one, for allowing us to share a little bit of your time so we can talk about some information that we want to share with you all. So I am Dr. Michelle Smith, and I serve, excuse me, as the Vice Provost for Student Affairs and the Dean of Students. So those of you I have not had an opportunity to meet with, it's good to at least see your faces. Some of you I have met in person and have even had dinner with. So thank you again. And I think others I've met with just in person and had some valuable meetings. So thank you for the opportunity. I'm going to let Dr. Martin introduce himself, and then we will just dive into a conversation with you all.
Sounds great.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Smith. And thank you, Duke, for your leadership this evening. I'm Brandon Martin. I'm the Vice Chancellor and Director of Athletics here at UMKC. Delighted to be here, delighted to have, as Dr. Smith spoke about, this is just an exploratory conversation. And a lot of this is going to be driven by you, but I know Dr. Smith has some opening comments, and then I have a few things that I would like to fill in for the presentation. So at this point, I'll turn it back to Dr. Smith.
Thank you. So by a show of hands, either physically or in your reaction button, tell me who on this screen uses the Swinney Rec Center. Hands. All right. Good. I see a good portion. Great. So this is an opportunity as we begin to explore what that facility looks like and that facility's opportunity for growth. What does that look like for you all? Though, especially for those of you, I'm going to ask questions first. Those of you who use the facility, if you saw growth, if we saw growth in the facility, what would you want in that facility? What would you want to see? Or is it fine as it is right now? Just think about that. You don't have to answer that right up front. And you could put some information in the chat as well, because there are so many of you that you might not all be able to speak. So we want you to think about if we were to expand the facility and have this cutting edge facility, what would that look like? What would that mean for you? What would you want to see in such a facility? Of course, for us, I think about certainly in terms of student affairs, the physical and mental health of our students. And with that comes physical activity. For those of you who do some research in that area, and maybe those of you who don't, Being physically engaged also helps our mental capacity to lower our stress, lower our anxiety. It also puts us in a particular position to be healthier. So we're talking about physically healthy as well as mentally healthy. We also talk about what would a cutting edge facility look like. We have a pool, you have weights, you have those type of amenities, but what would it also look like if we were to expand so that it's a place where, number one, you enjoy attending. It would be a space for special events as well. How many of you went to convocation as new students? All right. My understanding is convocation was certainly in Sweeney, correct? So what would that look like? And could we have other educational as well as health related and athletic events in that space? And then what does that look like in terms of recruiting students to the campus? Cutting edge facilities in whatever realm is also and always a drawing opportunity for our students as well as faculty and staff who are coming to UMKC. So I want you to think about those things because we want to explore what would that look like. We want student input. We want you to be part of the growth. We want your thoughts about what it could look like, what amenities would be great in that particular facility, and how would that help us grow UMKC. So I'm gonna stop there and I'm gonna let Dr. Martin jump in for a moment, and then I'm gonna come back and ask you some additional questions, and we're just gonna do some cold polling with hand raises as well as information in the chat.
Well, real quick, sorry, Dr. Martin, but we do have a couple of people. First, we've got Gabby, who has asked in the chat, didn't the facilities recently get an upgrade?
Yeah, I can take that, Gabby. Essentially, what we did was we did a renovation. We did some rebranding in the space to the competition floor. We did a renovation to the north lobby space, which allowed us, from a recruiting standpoint, to tell the story of our program. But this would be more of a more intensive, a more robust effort to where it wouldn't just be for athletics, it would be for the entire facility. As most of you know, it's a shared facility. And so we have athletics and we also have rec services. And so just to dovetail off of Dr. Smith's point, really what we want to do is to hear from you on what is your vision for that facility. Most of you know me, and especially Todd, he's on this call. He's heard me talk about some different ideas related to the facility. My job is not only to win championships for the student athletes, but it's also to win championships for the students. And what does that look like? Those championships are all centered about mental, physical health. Having a facility that's welcoming, having a facility that's inclusive, having a facility that's engaging, something that's going to allow us to recruit students, something that will allow us to have a hub where all of you can have special events. I think Dr. Smith alluded to convocation. That's important to all of us, but special events, something that can further elevate and accentuate rec sports and club sports. And essentially what we're looking for in athletics is a partnership. we're looking for a partnership. And that's why I'm here on this call to hear from you. And I know we have Thomas on the call, our SAC rep from athletics, but this is about a partnership. This is about having respect for your voice and really getting an idea of some of the amenities that you want in that space. As we move forward, I think we all can agree, even though it is a point of pride for some of us, we all can agree that that space can be upgraded. That space can be further maximized in terms of some of the programming, in terms of some of the things that we can offer to all of you. And so this is a exploratory conversation, but it's an important conversation because you all are the leaders. We want to hear from you, and we just want to get your thoughts. So I'm going to follow Dr. Smith's lead and just open it up for questions, open it up for comments. If there was another question, I'm not sure, Duke, if there was another question in the chat, maybe we can address that question, but let's open it up and let's have a dialogue about this.
Zach Painter, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I didn't mean to raise the hand. I think that was for a prior question, but I did have a comment I was going to share just about the weight room. I think the weight.
Oh, sorry. I think I accidentally muted him. Oh no.
Am I back?
Yes.
Okay. I was just saying that the weight room, I feel like if that was to go through a more robust upgrade of some kind, whether it be just an expansion of the space or more equipment in a larger space, but it does seem that area gets cramped pretty quickly as far as just the area that's provided, and especially with students as well as community members being able to access that gym during certain hours of the day. I have noticed where it becomes to the point where it's just not enjoyable to go in and exercise simply because of the space provided. So I feel like if that were to be improved as far as just opened up a little bit more, I feel like that would be very beneficial as far as recruiting purposes for individuals, as well as just the betterment of physical activity for UMKC students.
Yeah, Zach, I think that's a great point that you made. And just imagine if we had improved equipment, we had more square footage, more space, so we can have more students in that weight room facility. But also think about and try and picture if we had sort of a fueling station in there. So after a workout, maybe you can get a shake, maybe you can get a meal, maybe you can get, something in that space right after that workout.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. That'd be awesome, especially if it was either complimentary or offered as a discount to UMKC students, because I do find it can be a little bit of a drive, whether you're commuting in or a little bit walk back to the dorms, whether you live on campus. And there could be time in there where some protein of some kind would prove beneficial for students, especially. Yeah.
Gabby?
Hi, I'm just wondering if you have any sort of, well, I have two questions. First of all, have you done any surveys of students and their satisfaction with the facilities? And two, for these proposed upgrades that we're talking about, I know they're hypothetical, but obviously there are some plans for something. Is this going to be funded by higher student fees, or is this going to be privately funded through the department?
Yeah, the first question, can you go back to the first question, Gabby?
Yeah, sorry. Have you done any surveys of student satisfaction?
Yeah, so I think that's one of the things that Dr. Smith and I wanted to do here in this conversation with you all first, before we send out a survey to the students. We respect the job that you all do. You play a critical role on campus, and we wanted to at least respect you all before we just started to disseminate a survey out to students. And then you all hear about it and it's like, hey, well, what about us, right? So we wanted you all to have the first voice in that. I think your second question was about plans. And, in athletics, that's really a part of our job to always think about the plans for that facility, but nothing is in stone. Nothing is in stone. We cannot move forward with advancing anything without your approval, because there's spacing in there where that's going to be driven by the needs that you all express. And so I think this call is sort of the first phase of trying to get that feedback to your prior question, Gabby.
Okay, yeah, I was asking because I think that's going to be probably the biggest point for this, if you're gauging, interest for moving forward with a plan like that. I think that'd probably be the most important piece of information for students to know.
Yeah.
I think Gabby, do you go by Gabby or Gabrielle?
Both.
Okay. So I think historically there may have been a survey that has been done in the past, but with change also comes new information. And so we certainly want, as Dr. Martin said, to make sure that we feed this through you all first, that we set a foundation and a partnership with SGA before we move to the broader community. Because as he stated, what we did not want to do was, in essence, put out a survey without laying the groundwork and the foundation for why the survey is being set out. So we always want to set a foundation and to get input about the types of questions and the information that we're trying to get and the information that we want to receive from you. So of course, that means a qualitative and a quantitative survey, maybe some type of Likert scale in that particular survey, but it is to gauge your interest. And so we wanted to start with you all first to set the ground and to get some valuable input before we put a survey out to the broader student community. I know, Duke, you wanted to probably wait for questions, but does anybody else have any questions, any additional questions about what it is you think you want and what you want to see? Now, let me say this, you might not have that information now, and it's quite fine to put that in writing and send that to either the future Dr. Todd Wells, or you can send that to me as well, and then we can compile that information and move from there. What we don't want to do is hold up, because I know you have lots of other things on your agenda today to get through. I do see a hand by, I think it's Truman.
Yeah, I just have one question about finance and kind of the community behind all this. So I know we allow people from the outside community to go into the rec center and use that. And to my understanding, they have to pay a fee for that. But what I'm just kind of curious is a lot of other universities that allow people from the outside community to go use the rec center, they usually charge the city, or the city provides a substantial funding for that rec center. So I'm just kind of curious, is that a plan that might be on the table? Is that possible for the city of Kansas City to provide a donation or funding for an upcoming university, or have they?
Yeah, that's a great question, Truman. Yeah, there's several options that Dr. Smith and I are considering, along with her team in student affairs, as well as our chancellor, in trying to figure out different sources of funding. I think you made an excellent point in terms of some of the other rec facilities nationally. I think that is the model that is set up. But I think right now it's a bit premature to see if and even how much funding we can even get, from the city at this point. I think we can better answer that question down the road, once this gets more developed. But I think right now we just wanted to get, just kind of a needs and want assessment from you all before we start to get into the financial pieces.
Awesome, thank you.
Oh, Truman, I will say that coming from, I know as Dr. Martin has other institutions that have large recreation facilities, as well as maybe the future Dr. Wells, he's probably been in some other places, as maybe some of the rest of you have. You are correct in that community members who use the facilities have to pay a fee because that is part of the usage and part of the upkeep. And so we do have to have that, and we want to continue that. We want to continue to be good partners with the community in which we are housed. For those of you, let me give you a quick history lesson. For higher education institutions, they were about the community in which they were housed and to help the community grow in ways connected to education. And so we want to be a good partner with Kansas City, as well as with the surrounding areas and those individuals who come to use this facility. And we want them to be a good fiscal, if you will, partner in helping to work with those upgrades as well. So yes, we want to continue that, and we want to continue to explore what that looks like in a much larger space. So I'm going to go to Tim and then to Jake.
Point of order, are members of the executive branch part of this discussion? I'm not sure.
I believe so. I believe so.
They can comment since it's non-voting. Thanks, Gavin.
Yeah, so I just wanted to comment a few things to this matter. Nice to see you again, Dr. Smith, as well as nice to meet you, Dr. Martin. In terms of where I am at in terms of res life, being an RA on campus, being in constant interaction with the freshman or sophomore who may live at Oak or Johnson, what they would like to see is sometimes I hear, they go during those peak hours or day times where it is too busy for them, and that they would like to reimagine a space where, expansion would be nice, where, more equipment that previously has been, I think, mentioned by Zach in terms of more different things, whether it be, a hack machine, calf raises, seated, standing, perhaps even, a turf with a sled. So just different things, and just an environment where students don't feel as crowded, but more expansive, so they feel more comfortable just hearing what goes on in terms of students coming back from the dorms, freshmen, sophomores, both at Oak and Johnson, just with my constant interaction with them, working with Res Life.
So we know what machines Tim then uses, don't we? If he was very specific about he wants to see in the facility.
We can all tell by his TikTok.
Oh, really? So I might have to get on TikTok. Okay, I won't. Okay. All right, Jake.
I think that Tim really kind of hit everything that I was going to say on the head. Really just, trying to get a little bit more space and find some more space for what equipment we do have, because I really don't think the equipment that we have is that bad at all. I think that it's actually very nice. So I think honestly, just expansion is going to be like the main thing for me. But yeah.
Okay. So here's what we won't do. We will not belabor the point. I think we've gotten some initial feedback, because I do realize, and we want to be respectful of your time and respectful of you all allowing us to come in and speak with you right now. So if there are other comments, suggestions, questions, I would urge you to put that in writing, and you can send that to me or to Dr. Martin, or maybe you could go to Todd, because that might be easier for you all to send that, and then he could send that to us. We wanted an opportunity to just broach the conversation with you all, to gauge your interest, to gauge the information in terms of what this could potentially look like and how this would, excuse me, help, again, in our opinions, the physical and mental health of our students, assist in recruiting not only competitive student athletes, but the broader university. And that is not just our students, but that is faculty, staff, and their families as well. The usage by our community partners of Kansas City space for special events. And then, of course, an awesome partnership with our athletic partners. I think I see one additional question from Amy before we go.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, is this only regarding Sweeney and like has nothing to do with the Hospital Hill gym?
It just has Sweeney at the moment, because I'm not sure many of you even go to the Hospital Hill facility. And if you all use that, you all should know that you can use that anytime you want. But right now, Amy, it is just speaking to the Sweeney. Now, certainly if we are at a space where we have some good funding, we could certainly look at that as well. But right at the moment, we're speaking of the facility right at Sweeney. But it does not exclude totally that space at a Hospital Hill.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, as I scroll through the screens, I don't see any further hand raises. I think Dr. Wells has put in the chat where you can send further questions or information so that he can get that to Dr. Martin and myself. And when we are ready for a survey, we will certainly let you all know, and so that you would be on the forefront of speaking with your peers and helping us to gather and gain additional information.
Point of order.
Yes, Sagi.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank you two for coming to speak with us today, over this meeting today. I really appreciate it. This is not really a question as much as a suggestion for moving forward. I'm really happy that you guys are planning to do that survey to get some good, qualitative and quantitative data on how the student body feels about this. I would, if I were the one writing the survey, I would make sure to have at least one question surrounding the funding aspect, because I think, when the conversation, inevitably gets to fees, I think, there's a lot more of a need right now, in the health center. You mentioned the mental health, and, I know that is a particular area that really needs a lot of funding right now. And I think if in the survey there could be some sort of, a way to voice input on, would you prefer to see this project go forward, if it were something that were privately funded, or at least not funded through a student fee raise. I definitely think that would be good data, just for everyone else going forward to fill out. And again, just thank you guys so much for including us in this conversation. That is obviously something that I really appreciate.
Thank you, Sagi. We appreciate that. I will leave any parting remarks with Dr. Mark.
Yeah, just want to thank Duke. Want to thank the work that Todd continues to do, in the space, and just want to thank all of you for taking time to just listen to myself and Dr. Smith, and to just talk about what I consider something exciting, something really exciting, something exciting for not only Sweeney, but I think it's going to be exciting for the university. So, like I said, I would love to hear additional feedback from all of you, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon.
All right. Thank you so
all.
much. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for speaking.
Thank you.
All right. And now that we have concluded our guest speaker business, committee reports. First up this time is Public Relations Committee, Senator Sagi Rudnick, Senator at Large. What is the committee report?
Hi, thank you, Duke. So actually this week I have a very exciting report. The committee has English. So the committee has passed the final resolution in favor of standing in solidarity with expelled refugees. That vote was this past Friday, and while not every committee member was present, out of those present, it was a unanimous decision without objection. So I believe that means that it is considered adopted by the full Senate. Please do let me know if I'm wrong about that. But if so, I think we all should be very proud of the fact that we have adopted such a proclamation. I would be happy to provide the text. Duke, I sent it to you. I don't know if you want to disperse it, through your email.
I will disperse it. I will disperse it.
Amazing. And then can you just let me know about is it like officially done now or? Oh, okay. So Todd is saying I'm correct. Okay, so that means it is passed officially, right? Perfect. Okay, then that is my only update. Pretty short, but yeah.
Thank you, Sagi. Alrighty. Next up, the Senate Resolutions Committee, Chair Senator Haley Prinz, Collegiate Panhellenic Council. What is your report?
Hello, everyone. In this week's past meeting we held on Monday, we re-voted on whether or not it should be generally pushed forward, the hygienic resolution that was read in the prior Senate meeting. We voted on whether or not we recommend it being passed today, and of everyone present, it was unanimous that it should be supported.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, and of course, the Internal Affairs Committee, Chair Senator Brett Boyer, President Pro Tem of the Conservatory Student Association. What is your report?
Thank you, Duke. So at our last meeting, we finally held our hearing for the Supreme Court nominee, Kim. After an intense questioning period and an intense deliberation, we voted 5-3 to recommend Kim to the full Senate. So we will be holding the final vote today on whether or not to confirm her to the court.
Sounds great. All right, on to our action items. Our old business. We have the follow for follow form. You can post a photo of professional one. Like I have actually finally updated the follow for follow form for me. I have provided a proper professional photo now that I finally had the time to get that done. And you can provide one too for the Senate website, and also so your fellow senators can go and follow you and interact with you outside of Senate. The link to it is in the agenda. Feel free to fill that out whenever you can, whenever you want. And I might end up harassing some of you over email if Jessica starts harassing me through email. On to new business. We have 2 items on this list. We have the second reading, the discussion, debate, and vote on the Senate Resolution 15, the Hygienic Product and Disposal Access, as well as the hearing and confirmation vote for Kim 2. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Second reading, Senator Haley Prinz, if you would please commence the second reading.
So this is the Hygienic Product and Disposal Access Resolution. Whereas Student Government Services serves as the official voice of students at the University of Missouri, Kansas City, and whereas students require greater access to hygienic products and disposal methods while on the University of Missouri, Kansas City campus, and therefore be it resolved, be it resolved by the UMKC Student Senate supports equal access to hygienic products and disposal for all students while on the University of Missouri Kansas City campus, and therefore be it resolved, every bathroom on the University of Missouri Kansas City campus should have a hygienic product means of disposal, and therefore be it resolved, every vending machine on the University of Missouri Kansas City campus should have a hygienic products available, and therefore, furthermore, the student government will work with other stakeholders to achieve this goal, and therefore.
Oh gosh. All right. All right. Now, if I'm correct, I believe this is where we open up for debate and discussion on SR 15.
FYI, typically there's a speech in the affirmative, a speech opposed, there is a opposition, and then a call for a vote is how it works, is our Senate process. But you as speaker can send it straight to vote, but that is our process.
Do we have anybody who wishes to provide a speech in the affirmative for this resolution?
Yes, Speaker, I can go ahead and give a short little speech in affirmation.
Senator Haley Prince, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So as we are progressing as a society, and we are an extremely open and accepting campus here at the University of Missouri, Kansas City, we have noticed that there is not access to hygienic products for a lot of people on this campus. And in order for people to get the best educational, social, and general life experience here at UMKC, it ought to be something that is easily accessible for everyone in all bathrooms, because these needs do span to all the different bathroom requirements. So being sure that everybody has not only access to these products, but also a safe and responsible way to dispose of them is something that we should support as a community. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Haley Prince. Do we have any speech in the negative? I'm going to say that we have no speeches in the negative, and I would like to move this towards a vote. So those in favor.
Duke, it has to be a senator.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to vote. Someone second, please.
I second this.
Thank you.
All right. Those who are in favor of passing Senate Resolution 15, the Hygienic Product and Disposal Access Resolution, please provide in the chat a yay or yes vote. All righty. Those who are in the negative of passing SR 15, the Hygienic Product and Disposal Access Resolution, please send a nay or no vote in the chat. And those who wish to abstain, please abstain, or please note your abstention in the chat. All right. So if my count is correct, we have 24 votes in the affirmative And I believe that is the majority vote, which passes Senate Resolution 15, the Hygienic Product and Disposal Access Resolution. All right. Now, if we are concluded with that business, now for one of the most important things we are going to be doing as a Senate. If Kim is indeed confirmed after the following hearing and vote, we will be holding a swearing-in ceremony at a later time because Chief Justice Morgan is unable to attend tonight due to extenuating circumstances. And it is likely that we will be holding the swearing-in ceremony on November 29th during our final meeting of this semester. So, Kim, you are here, correct? Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Then I would like to open up the Senate to any senator with questions for Kim in regards to the nomination and potential appointment to the Supreme Court. Brett Boyer, Senator Brett Boyer.
Yes, hi. Hello again, Kim. I'd like to just do a follow-up based off of our conversation from our hearing a couple weeks ago, if you've had a chance to read and study our entire Constitution.
Yes, I actually have. I opened it a couple of days ago, actually, and I looked at the Supreme Court part again, as well as the Senate part.
Senator Gabrielle Stanley.
Yeah, Kim, I'm just wondering, did you think it was appropriate to not read the governing document of our organization before taking an interview for that position? And a follow-up to that, did you only read 2 sections of the Constitution, or did you read the whole thing?
Sorry, I didn't mean to phrase it that way. I did read the whole thing. And as far as my thoughts were, is I was applying for the Supreme Court position, and I did thoroughly read that section. I reread it just to brush up on it. But yes, I did read my part before I applied.
Do we have further questions for our nominee? Senator Quinn Tran.
Yeah, so why do you think you were nominated for this position?
Pardon?
Why do you think you were nominated for this position?
Yeah, like I had said in our previous interview, I really do think that I am quite a fair and unbiased person. I think I'm super analytical, and I think that whenever conflicts arise, I will always be one of the first people to take a deep breath, take a step back, and look at the overall objective as a whole. And rather than use personal bias or personal feelings in my decision, just analytically and logically handle any conflicts.
Senator Haley Prince.
Hello, Kim. So I was wondering, have you held a position like this before that might help clarify some qualifications?
Yeah, I have actually never been a part of anything like the Supreme Court before. I've held positions as part of the Senate before as a student council representative, but I have never actually had the opportunity to apply or be a part of anything related to a Supreme Court position.
Senator Quinn Tran.
In your own words, can you describe what the Supreme Court is responsible for?
Yeah, so the Supreme Court is responsible for making sure that any executive decisions that the executive board and then that the Senate pass uphold UMKC's student government constitution.
Senators, do not be shy. This is one of your biggest duties outside of legislating. Senator Brett Boyer.
Yeah, so Kim, I know us and the IAC committee met you and I think know you the best, but if you could just kind of introduce yourself a little bit for the rest of the Senate who might not know much about you so they can kind of know a little bit about you and your major and your background.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Kim. I'm a junior here at UMKC. I'm a bio major with a chem minor, and I'm on the pre-dental track. So some short-term goals I have would be to, of course, graduate UMKC with a bio BS. And then one day I hope to own my own dental practice.
I have a question real quick. Is there
Senator Sagira Nick. Senator Sagi.
I am so sorry. I was on mute and I didn't realize it. Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, so first of all, thank you, Kim, for joining us. I don't really know you that well, so this is, definitely a good opportunity for, just us in general to get acquainted as a Senate with you and, kind of, how you foresee your role, as part of the court. So I was just wondering, what drove you to seek out this position? Like, why specifically a seat on the Supreme Court? Why do you think that's the most effective place for you right now?
Yeah, so I had mentioned just a couple of minutes ago that I have never had the opportunity to be a part of any Supreme Court setting. Like in the past, in my high school, we just had a student council and then we had a cabinet. So like that takes care of, like the Senate and then like the executive team, but I've never been a part of any organization that's had a specific role that does the same thing that the Supreme Court does. So I think in poli-sci class, or they will teach you an analogy that says the three-legged chair. And that kind of signifies that you need three legs to a chair to uphold balance. And then like if you have two chairs or two legs to the chair, you'll wobble and then the chair will fall. So with the three legs is that third leg of the Supreme Court allows for an unbiased party who doesn't have any specific gain or specific like, what is it? Like purpose or personal afflictions to whatever laws we're passing, to impartially just look at it as a whole and make sure that this is constitutional and it's for the betterment of UMKC as a whole, or for any governing body as a whole.
All right, and I believe Senator Zach Painter, you had your hand up.
Yes, Sagi asked my question.
All right. So, assuming that we have no further questions, I would like to ask one myself. Kim, if you were a kitchen utensil, what would you be and why?
That's an interesting question. Can I have a minute to think about that?
Yes.
So if I were a kitchen utensil, I would pick chopsticks. I know that not a lot of households have chopsticks, but there's something I use in everyday life. I think I would pick chopsticks because they're so simple in design, but they have a lot of different like utilities. Like they're very resourceful, they're very flexible, and you can use just a simple pair of sticks to do so many things. And I think that's why I would pick to be chopsticks. Although I don't look like much or have any specific qualifications like prior experience to the Supreme Court position, I think that I am super flexible. I think that I am super open-minded and that I can fit any role that is needed of me.
Thank you, Kim. All right. Now, if there are no further questions from the Senate, I would like to move to a roll call vote. Internal Affairs Director Malavika, will you please call the roll?
Yes.
For those of us senators who may not be super familiar with the roll call vote, can we get an explanation of what is to be expected here, Todd?
Yes, so a vote of yes or yay is you're voting to confirm, Ken, or you either vote no, which you're voting to not confirm.
All right, thank you. Malavika, whenever you are ready.
Okay. Arts and Sciences Student Council.
Nay.
Block School Student Association. Collegiate Panhellenic Council.
Collegiate Panhellenic Council, Haley Prince, nay.
Conservatory Student Association.
Nay.
Conservatory Student Association, Gabrielle Stanley, nay.
Graduate Student Council. Interfraternity Council.
Yay.
Medical School Advisory Council.
Yay.
Multicultural Student Organization Council. Oh, they're absent. National Panhellenic Council.
Here, but I do not have a vote.
Pharmacy Student Council.
Pharmacy Student Council, Zach Painter, we vote in the affirmative, yay.
School of Biological and Chemical Sciences.
Yay.
School of Biological and Chemical Sciences, Grayson Petrozinski, nay.
School of Computing and Engineering Studies.
School of Computing and Engineering, Reagan Dumb, yay.
Truman Dallas, yay.
School of Dentistry Student Council. School of Dentistry Student Council. Okay, School of Education Council.
School of Education Council, Nicole Davidge, yay.
School of Education Student Council, Jessica Metter, yay.
School of Law,
School of Law, McGregor Greenlee, nay.
Sexuality and Gender Alliance Council,
Sexuality and Gender Alliance Council, I do not have a vote.
Student Athlete Advisory Council,
Student Athlete Advisory Council, Thomas Luger. I do not have a vote.
Real quick, I do representatives of senators who are of the regular senators that are present, if they have a representative in their place, does that representative have voting rights?
No.
Thank you.
Student Council of Nursing and Health Studies,
Nursing and Health Studies, Joey Gamble, nay.
okay. Senators at Large,
Quinn Trans, Senator at Large, nay.
McGee Rudnick, Senator at Large, nay.
Natalie, are you still here with us?
I don't think so. Do you want me to call like people that weren't there out individually, or?
I think that would be most useful.
Okay. Okay, Kerrigan Rohach. If you heard that, that was my roommate. Graduate Student Council, Matthew Lukowitz. And Eric Arampoli.
I feel like I'm getting messages in my chat, but I can't see them because Zoom has been bugging out.
Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna make a statement that has also been stated by Senator Stanley. We have to see it, we're at quorum. I'm trying to keep track here, and it appears the block school is absent, dentistry is absent, MSOC is absent, and we've had several abstentions and folks not voting.
Yeah.
So Malavika, are you able to tell from what you have right now if we're at quorum?
Yeah, let me recount.
If someone is trying to send messages to me, like direct messages or messages in the chat, I cannot see them. So if they have not been acknowledged, please vocally let them be known.
Med School Advisory Council later here in Paul is here.
Oh, what was your vote for confirming Kim?
My vote is nay.
Okay. So there were 9 yays and 10 nays and some abstentions. 1, 2 abstentions. And there were some representatives, so their vote doesn't count.
So the question is, do we have a simple majority of 51% votes of quorum who voted in the affirmative for confirming Kim as Supreme Court Justice.
Well, there were 19 votes, so I think, does that mean quorum? I believe.
We need 24 senators here for quorum.
Yeah. And there were 2 abstentions, so that's, so there's 19 votes, but
So we have 19 total votes with abstentions, then we don't have quorum.
yeah, so we don't.
So we can no longer, we cannot have a confirmation without quorum, so I have to try again next meeting, or a senator can call a special session. Those are the only options.
Yeah, I say we call a special session.
And what are the bylaws for that?
So if Senator Brooks wants to call a special session, he put that in writing to the speaker via email, and then call for a special session, which is also subject to quorum. Also, it cannot meet at the same time as SAFC, which is next Monday.
And I'm guessing it also cannot meet at the same time as any of our standing committees.
It can.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
So that would be up to the Senate, but at this point, we can no longer conduct official business. You continue with updates. But we don't have quorum, so we can no longer conduct official business.
All right. So on to our officer reports. President Tim Wen, what is your report?
Yes, could you go back to the slide, Duke, with the follow for follow? Just I wanted to reiterate that if possible. Do you have control of that slide, Duke?
Yes, I just scrolled to it. Are you guys not seeing my screen?
I do not. I see it stuck on the same screen.
All right, we're gonna try. Crap. I'll be right back. I have to task manager this again. Just 1 second. All right, my bad. All right, I believe we're here.
Awesome. So I just wanted to just a gentle reminder to everyone what Duke mentioned earlier about the follow for follow. We would greatly appreciate that. Jessica has put a lot of work into the website for us to spotlight each senator, and we would appreciate not only you guys filling that out in terms of picture, contact information, how people can reach out to you. There's been people, for example, that are looking for these opportunities where, for example, they have never had the opportunity before to be involved in student government, that at least they want to dip their feet in and try to be a senator to represent their academic unit at their school. So by you putting your guys' information in allows them the opportunity to follow up with you, to have the conversation, and get to know you in order if they want to be part of SGA. I know there's conversations now about potential students who are even looking forward to be on different positions, whether it be on the judiciary branch. We're having 2 more spots open since we're going to have people graduate this December that's currently on that, in addition to some people that are looking forward to potentially dip their toes, perhaps being a part of the exec board as well. So really just want to reiterate that as far as what Tia has graciously shared for you all in chat. We would greatly appreciate the first link, the UMKC activity log, for everyone to fill out. And that helps us in terms of keeping track, not only for bookkeeping purposes, but also for our newsletters, social media, of how many community impact hours, how many student involvement hours that you guys are able to do, and for us to team and do together. And not only are we able to take for example, these meetings, for instance, feel free to take the first form, I believe that Tia attached, and put your name, your branch. In this case, it would be the Senate. For the exec board, it would be exec board. If you go through that Google form that Tia shared, and then organizational meeting, and then you can even list this meeting in itself. Kind of like how in similar other resources such as SI, they have an attendance thing where people fill in the link. We would greatly appreciate you doing that for this meeting as a part of attendance, but also for other organizations and different involvements that you guys are in as UMKC students, both outside of SGA, because everyone here, whether you're a student leader with First Gen, with the Honors College and other programs, ASM, and outside of that. And then secondly, the 30 for 30 submission, just to really reiterate that as an opportunity to invite someone on the exec board or whoever is available on the exec board to come see your different organizational meetings, whether it be in Greek life, whether it be an organization that stems from the area of college and arts and science. It's an opportunity where the SGA is able to come to kind of see what you guys are doing, just to sit and listen to the wonderful work that you guys are doing for your student organization as a student leader. Me trying to think back to my freshman year when I was on the Pre-Dental Society exec board, I thought it'd be awesome to have, you know, the chancellor or someone on the SGA exec board to come see one of our meetings and just to listen and to spend some quality time to see what we're doing in terms of bringing in speakers or bringing in different kind of workshops for students, that we wanted to give back this opportunity for you all within your other respective involvements, within your other activities that you our student leaders, and for us to kind of spotlight and kind of elevate your presence, not only through the newsletter, through social media, but also wherever we can in different partnerships with SGA. Thank you.
Thank you, President Tim. All right. Madam Vice President Weiler.
Good evening. I've mostly been working on just kind of like wrapping up the last things for Ruse Give Back. So the thank you notes, just kind of reaching out to all of our partners, and not just kind of concluding with that weekend, but continuing partnerships with them. Speaking of that, the blood drive, which was really successful on the Friday before Ruse Give Back, the Community Blood Center was very, very grateful and happy with that turnout. So they're already working with me, Kim, and also the Honors College on moving and executing a blood drive next semester. So we're in the very early stages for that, but I'll be helping planning in that probably sometime in April. And then lastly, I had Kim reach out wanting me to reiterate to all of you court warming nominations. So each organization is allowed to nominate one person for court warming. I have a slide presentation on it, but I'm not going to present it in this. I'll just have Duke send that out to you guys. But the nominations are due on the 12th, and it's a really great way to represent the campus and kind of get more exposure for your organizations. So I encourage you to not only nominate someone, but also spread the word to all of your organizations that you are a part of.
Thank you so much, Vice President Abigail. Next up, we have Internal Affairs Director Malavika. What is your report?
So I have two quick announcements. One is about the election director that is sort of in the process of being figured out, but we want you to be on the lookout for one. It can't be a senator, but for anyone who might be interested, I believe people in the first year council might be able to still be involved with that, because I'm not sure. Okay, actually I'll like double check if that's true. But we want to be on the lookout for an election director, and there's also an opportunity to let me pull it out. To attend transportation and parking operations meeting once per month. It's 9 a.m. to 10:30. And any member of the Senate can sit in on those, but we need somebody to fill in that position, I think.
Can you give me the day and time again, please?
Yeah, it's Mondays, 9 to 10:30 a.m. It's once a month.
It used to be twice a month, like, or like it was like literally every other week. I was on the parking committee a couple years ago.
Yeah, I could do it once a month.
Thank you.
All right. And
Make
our
sure,
final,
can you shoot me an email, like the scheduling and all that stuff?
Yes, I think, Tim, do you have the information about that you could forward?
Yes, I think probably the most direct or best way, Lawrence, is I can work with Jessica, and if you're not added on Rue groups, through the newsletter with that opportunity. If not, I can also follow up with more information to get you what you need.
All right, just let me know.
all right. As for our final officer report, Comptroller Kyle Potts, what is your report?
Hey guys, so we had SAFC meeting last week. We approved a staggering $3,560.83. So please, please, please tell your organizations to start submitting budget requests. We are getting towards the end of the semester, so the schedule is starting to look a little hairy. If you or your organization wants to request money for an event that takes place anytime between January 10th and February 28th, that deadline is November 29th. If it's past the 29th, we will not approve it. And so that is a whole 2 months that you cannot get funding for, especially like first couple of weeks back. I know a lot of orgs like to have welcome back events. So please, please, please be mindful of those dates. Also, we made a little boo-boo in the schedule for the end of next semester. We scheduled an SAFC date for spring break, which is not going to happen. So I've been talking with Duke and we have kind of talked about changing the dates. The committee has voted to move our dates, so everything is being pushed back 1 week. And then we also voted to the submission deadline is on a Monday to be reviewed that following Monday. We have pushed that deadline to be on Wednesday for that following Monday, just to kind of give orgs a couple extra days to submit funding so that we can approve more money if needed. Other than that, that's all we've got right now.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. All right, the open forum. Let us take that pin out of the climate resilience presentation. Shane Reed, I am now opening up the Senate floor for questions for about 5 minutes for any senators who do have any questions about Shane's presentation. Assuming Shane is still here.
Hi, yes, I am.
Okay.
Who all worked with you on this resolution, and what class specifically are you taking, or independent study are you taking to kind of like give you the framework for this?
Yeah, so this class was actually last semester. It's specifically sustainable design. There was 8 other students. I apologize. Let me pull up their names real quick. So in community engagement, we had Kristen English and Kwong Fan. Apologies if I'm saying that wrong. And then campus landscape, we had Joe Adams and Garrett Anderson. And then in energy, we had Jonathan James and Lauren Fitzpatrick. With the food and waste management, we had Nasima Hadoum and Megan Myers. And I've been trying to contact them on and off throughout this semester. The only ones I've gotten hold of are graduates. So that's why I'm here doing this myself. Thank you.
Senator Brett.
Hi, I think you touched on it a little bit, but where do you want / where do you think the funding for all of these initiatives will come from?
That is something, that's another reason why I'm keeping this as a draft. I've done some research on where we can get funding from. There's grants that we could write. There are outside parties that we could pull on or try and pull in. The last resort would be to increase students' tuition costs. Basically, any outside source of funding would be the preferred route. I'm no expert on this. I would have to pull up my notes on more specifics on what's out there, but generally it's grants and non-governmental parties or organizations that we're going to be wanting to look at. Yeah, the funding is a little bit up in the air, mind you, but that's again why I'm coming to you guys. Hopefully that answered you okay.
Do we have any further questions for Mr. Reed? Assuming no, I will say, Sagi, I will be emailing you about potential Senate proclamations, both in regards to this as well as in regards to some other things, and see what the Public Relations Committee thinks. Senator Gabby.
Yeah, I just had something to say reflecting on how this meeting is unfolded. I would just like to encourage legislative and executive leadership to set a good example for the rest of the Senate by reading and understanding our Constitution and bylaws and our procedure. And I would also like to know how members of leadership are going to respond to the lack of quorum for the nomination and how they plan to achieve quorum next meeting.
I do not have an answer at this time. However, I am going to be doing my best to reach out to our existing senators and see if they're, aside from the ones that are present every week, if there are still, they're trying to actually be a senator, or if we do need to go and contact their council or appropriate organization and get a new senator or senators appointed. I believe that the College of Arts and Sciences is still in search of another senator, as well as the nursing school.
That's correct.
So, yes, I will be reaching out to those relevant organizations and ensure we have people who are actually able to attend these meetings and commit to them.
I was gonna make an observation because I don't think it was senators committing. I think people left early. That's
That
it.
is also a potential.
I mean,
and I will say
we had quorum.
Yeah,
We
we
did
had
have
quorum. We
quorum.
had 24 at the beginning. At the beginning of this meeting, so we had at least 3 people leave.
We had more, yeah, we had more than 24, like Senator Brooks just said, and I think the issue, we may need to think about limiting guest speakers. No offense to any of our guest speakers, but that took up an hour of our time, which I think was incredibly too long. And so we can rethink that through the budget, or not the budget, like I'm concentrating on money. Thinking about, we can limit that number of guest speakers to maybe 1 per session. And so That's an important, I think, learning piece, Senator Stanley, that we can learn. But also those senators that left early get counted absent, which affects their funding. So when you reach a certain level of absences, you cannot access your SAFC funds. And so I think that we had some good learning through that.
Point of order.
Senator Sagi.
Thank you. So I was just wondering, in terms of the vacancies that you just mentioned, specifically with the College of Arts and Sciences, if someone is interested to apply for that position, how do they go about doing that?
I believe that appointments outside of the at-large Senate positions do need to go to the respective councils. Either that or the respective councils reach out to their their students that they represent for any applicants. And it is also, and while it is the responsibility of the council to appoint any replacement senators, it is also my responsibility in order to communicate with said councils to ensure that they are keeping up with their end of their responsibilities. And that I will be doing this week.
Yeah, get with me
Okay,
this week, Duke. The other kid that was supposed to, that got elected with me, he has not showed up to one meeting.
Right.
I've never met him, never heard from him. So
right.
That's something that we can put together this week. I'm pretty sure I can find somebody.
All right. Sounds good, Lawrence.
I just real quick interject again.
Yes, Senator Sagi.
Thank you. So the reason I was asking is I do have a constituent who is interested in applying for this position. So that's why I was wondering if there's a specific person I should direct them to at this point or not.
You should direct them technically to the president of the College of Arts and Sciences Student Council. So that way they can make the official appointment and let me know of the senator's appointment, and I can get them onto our email list and get them the links to our meetings and agenda, etc.
And who is that right now?
We don't know, but you can look up on Rue Groups and I can give you the direct link.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Senator Quintran.
Yeah, so I couldn't find this in the Constitution and bylaws, but shouldn't there be a deliberation period prior to voting?
That's what I was thinking. Especially for like Senate resolutions, like I'm pretty certain that those are supposed to be integral to the conduction of Senate business. At the very least, that's what Robert's Rules of Orders say, and that is the document that we are supposed to follow for our procedures.
Duke, that is in the Constitution and bylaws. If you take a close look at the process and procedures for passing a bill.
All righty. Thank you, Gabby.
I think she might have been alluding to the Supreme Court hearing. We did not have any deliberation today before we took a vote.
All right. Do we have any other comments, questions, concerns?
I move to adjourn this meeting.
I second that.
At 7:53, making our longest meeting ever, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you for joining us. Join us November 29th.
Do you mind if I take a second?
Go right ahead.
Apologies. I just wanted to kind of touch base and ask what's next steps after this.
So I am going to be talking to Sagi, who is the chair of our Public Relations Committee, as I believe that is going to be our first step, especially if you're primarily seeking support of the resilience plan from the SGA, as they are our arm that does deal with voicing the opinions of the Senate. And I'm not sure what all we can do legislative wise, but I could definitely look into seeing about enacting or like passing some legislation to encourage the administration to do something like provide solar panels for roofs of like our bigger used buildings, like the new engineering school, the Miller Nichols, Atterbury, Sweeney Student Union, Block School, just some things like that. And if you have any ideas about what you'd like to see in particular from us, you can just shoot me an email and we can work something out, I'm sure.
And then follow-up question, how do I stay in the loop with you guys on this?
Pretty much, we do have the RU groups. You can request to join. You don't have to be a member of the SGA to be a member of the SGA RU groups. And you're even able, like as a non-SGA member, you are able to attend these meetings. And so you can do that. And we do have the open forum. So if there's something that you wish to talk about, that's partly what the open forum is for. And of course, you can always email me.
Of course, yeah. Okay, well, I just wanted to ask those real quick before we went on.
No problem.
And thank you so much. Sorry it took up a little bit more time.
It is all right, Shane. Have a good day.
You
Well,
too.
night.
Yeah. Have a good one.
You too.